Hello, I'm Craig Brailsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is Ainos Incorporated. Ainos develops disruptive medical and healthcare solutions based on its proprietary AINOS and Veldona technologies. The name Ainos combines AI and NOS to signify Ainos' commitment to enabling AI with the ability to smell and individuals to live healthier. Ainos' clinical stage product pipeline includes AI-driven, telehealth-friendly POCT solutions powered by AINOS, Veldona human and animal oral therapeutics, and human orphan drugs. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Atossa Therapeutics. Atossa is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company advancing endoxifen, a next-generation selective estrogen receptor modulator, or SERM, with best-in-class potential across the breast cancer treatment spectrum. The company is prioritizing metastatic breast cancer, a setting with limited effective therapies and high unmet need, where endoxifen has demonstrated encouraging clinical activity and favorable tolerability. This focus may enable a more efficient regulatory pathway while building a foundation for expansion into prevention, neoadjuvant, and adjuvant settings. With multiple ongoing phase 2 trials, a proprietary oral formulation, and a strong intellectual property portfolio, Atossa is positioned to deliver meaningful therapeutic innovation and create long-term value for patients and investors alike. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Before we dive into our first interview, let's take a moment to recognize some of RedChip's top performers in 2024. Among them, RedCat, RCAT, up an incredible 1,293% in 2024. Alliance Entertainment, soaring by 842%. Gorilla Technology, which gained 250%. And Nova Minerals, up 149%. These companies have demonstrated the immense potential of the small cap market. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small cap stock analysis.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small cap assistant. RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Work hard, be a long-term thinker, develop tenacity, and remember, nothing happens without taking calculated risks. This quote comes from Phil Sassower of the Phoenix Group, and it is featured in Chapter 9 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with Ainos Incorporated. Hello, today we have Jack Liu, Head of Corporate Development at Ainos, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker AIMD. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
AI has transformed how machines see and hear, but smell has remained untapped. With AINOS, Ainos is changing that. Could you walk us through the problem you're solving and why this technology matters now more than ever?
Right. Great questions. So you know how AI already can see, hear, and speak, but it's never been able to smell really until now. And that's what we built. At Ainos, we're creating technologies that let machines understand smells just like a human knows. We call it AI Knows. And it turns scent into digital data. We call this data smell ID, like Face ID, but for scent. So this isn't really just some cool tech, it's useful. From catching signs of illness early to spotting chemical issues in factories, AI Nose adds a whole new sense to the AI. It's like giving robots and smart devices the ability to smell their surroundings and respond. We believe this is the next big leap in AI, and Ainos is leading this charge. We're building an ecosystem for smell tech, and we are open to collaborate with other companies.
You're operating across 3 diverse markets: healthcare, industrials, as you mentioned, and robotics. How are these verticals leveraging AI Nose today, and what makes them ideal entry points for your platform?
Right? So in healthcare, we're working on 2 very exciting projects. In Japan, we're using AI Nose in senior care, working with the leading senior care operator in the country. These devices can detect certain scent changes associated with bowel movements, helping caregivers take actions earlier and reduce workload. We're also developing Ainos Flora. This is a simple, non-invasive smell-based test for women's health. It's in clinical trials in Taiwan. For industrials, we're partnering with the world's largest chip packaging and testing company to bring AI nodes into their smart factories. The goal: catch chemical issues early, improve predictive maintenance, optimizing manufacturing processes. Finally, in robotics, we teamed up with Yugo. This is Japan's leading service robot company. The robots are now already deployed in public areas and factories, and now we're upgrading Yugo's robots to detect environmental changes like waste, gas leaks, and beyond.
You mentioned partnerships with a global semiconductor leader and Japan's top service robot firm. What strategic impact do these deals have on Ainos' roadmap and market credibility?
Right. These partnerships are very important validation of our AI Nose technology. Our work with the world's biggest chip packaging and testing company will help factories run smarter and greener. By giving them scent data, we're adding a tool for early warnings, quality controls, and smoother operations. With Yugo, that's Japan's leading service robot company, it's about giving robots a new superpower, the ability to smell. So their robots are helping in data centers and commercial buildings. Now with our AI nose, they can detect things humans can't smell or don't want to. So these aren't small pilot programs. These are serious partners solving real-world problems. It shows that turning scent into data has a big-time demand.
From ICU breath samples to industrial gas detection, AI Nose has evolved rapidly. I think you'll agree, Jack. Now, could you share a bit more about the journey behind this technology and how has your team built such a deep moat?
Right. It all started in healthcare. Our first use case for AI Nose was for detecting pneumonia in ventilated ICU patients just from analyzing their breath. So we always believe AI Nose has a very broad potential. We expanded into women's health and elderly care. And around second half of last year, we started pushing into industrials and robotics. So now we're even training AI Nodes to smell fruits, coffee, overheating cables, the real world stuff. This elevates its potential to a whole new level. So we don't just build a device, we're building a full stack, sensors that are semiconductor, man-based, portable AI models, and nearly 13 years of proprietary scent data. And that's what gives us a strong moat in this smell tech.
Now, Jack, the sensing space includes both established gas sensor providers and early-stage electronic nose, or e-nose, developers. What differentiates Ainos from these players from both a technical and commercial standpoint?
All right, so most companies fell into 2 camps: gas sensor makers and, as you said, e-nose developers. So the former gas sensor makers, they mainly sell components to detect specific gases. The latter one, the e-nose developers, most of them are right now in R&D stage. So Ainos is unique. We started in healthcare, not consumer or environmental like these people do. We buy sensors from the best suppliers, and now so we are their customers, not their competitors. We build our own AI that learns and adapts, and we harness nearly 13 years of innovations. So that combination of IP, Know-how and commercial traction give us a clear edge. We're not in R&D mode. We're entering deployment mode.
Now, Jack, you've laid out some key timelines for pilot deployments and product launches. What milestones should investors be watching for in 2025 and beyond?
Right. 2025 is a launch year for us. For industrials and robotics, we're training AI nodes in real-world settings now with our partners. Pilot will begin in second half of this year, 2025, and we target commercial rollout in 2026. For healthcare, our senior care program is already in pilot in Japan, with mass production targeted for mid-2025. Our women's health test right now, it's in clinical trials in Taiwan. So we just completed our first Yugo installation about a month after we announced the partnerships, and that pace shows our commitment to this project. 2025 is about proving the tech in market. 2026 is about scaling it.
Now, finally, Jack, for investors discovering Ainos for the first time, give us the core value proposition. Specifically, why is now the right time to get excited about smell tech?
We're building a whole new tech category, smell tech. With AI nodes, we're leading the way in turning scent into data and data into smarter decisions. We believe AI nodes can change how healthcare is delivered, how robots work, and how factories operate. We're already working with major partners. We got the data, the technology, and the roadmap to bring this to the world. Computer vision took decades to reach phones and autonomous cars. We believe smell is the next big one, completely untapped. If you want to invest in the next frontier of AI, where machines can finally smell, this is the time. We want to build an ecosystem for Smell ID and our AI nodes. So we invite AI, hardware, robotics companies to partner with us, and let's scale smell tech together. So we're Ainos. Our ticker symbol is AIMD. Follow us on our social, hashtag Ainos Inc. AI couldn't smell until Ainos.
Jack, thanks for being on the show with us today.
Thank you for your time.
Now, to get more information on Ainos, visit AIMDinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Ainos. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO and be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip CEO featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $18. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
Now let's move on to our next interview today with Atossa Therapeutics. Hello, we're here today with Dr. Stephen Quay, CEO of Atossa Therapeutics, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker ATOS. Stephen, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here, Greg.
You recently announced a decision to prioritize metastatic breast cancer as your lead indication. What drove that decision? And why do you believe that Z-endoxifen could be a game changer in this setting?
I think three things drive it. First is the high unmet need in metastatic breast cancer. These are women who don't have a lot of options, and something as potent as Z-endoxifen gives them, a chance at that point in the disease progression. Number two is that we have compelling early clinical data. In prior clinical work, Z-endoxifen has more than doubled the mean progression-free survival, which is the endpoint in these conditions, in women who are CDK4/6 inhibitor naive patients. It's demonstrated robust activity in heavily pretreated women, and collectively, it seems like a really good option. So it is potentially a game changer in metastatic breast cancer.
Now, Stephen, for viewers who may not be familiar, can you explain what Z-endoxifen is and how it differs from standard therapies such as tamoxifen and aromatase inhibitors?
Yeah, sure. So Z-endoxifen is the most active metabolite of tamoxifen, and it's been formulated for maximum bioavailability and the ability to get past the stomach. Four really key criteria: greater potency, a broad mechanism of action, a very favorable safety profile, and overcoming the metabolic variability that you get with tamoxifen.
You've generated some promising data not only in metastatic disease, but also in prevention and neoadjuvant settings. Can you share highlights from those trials and what they mean for the broader potential of your drug?
Yes, that's a very exciting aspect of Z-endoxifen in what it appears to be a very broad clinical utility. For example, in addition to metastatic data, it may be able to prevent breast cancer in the setting of high breast density. In the neoadjuvant setting, which is the treatment between the time of diagnosis and the time of therapy, over 85% of our patients saw a significant decrease in cell activity after just 4 weeks of treatment. And finally, it may also have potential in the adjuvant setting. So it truly is broadly positioned for prevention, early treatment, standard of care treatment in the metastatic setting.
Turning now to the business side, Stephen, what do your current cash position and financial runway look like, and how are you thinking about funding going forward?
Yeah, this is a really critical question for any biotech company. We have a strong balance sheet and no debt. So we reported $71 million in cash as of the end of the year of 2024. And our current projections means that this should be substantially, approximately 2 years of runway. For the long term, we'll be leveraging this strong balance sheet as we develop clinical endpoints and see progress in the trials.
Intellectual property, critical in biotech, of course. Can you talk about your patent portfolio and how it protects your long-term value prop?
So I have 92 patents and have won 5 litigations. So we have a robust patent estate that covers multiple aspects of the drug, from the chemical itself, Z-endoxifen, to its formulation, to the way that we treat breast cancers. And the strategic advantage of this is that these patents go out through 2038 or even beyond. And so they give us and our partners, potential partners and shareholders, a lot of runway to have an exclusive position in this important therapeutic.
Your company is approaching some key clinical milestones. What should investors be watching for in terms of upcoming data or regulatory catalysts?
Yeah, so in the metastatic program, which we've just announced, we have to go to the FDA and get concurrence on the details of that. That will be happening this year. And we intend to try to enroll our first patient on this trial before the end of this year, which would be quite phenomenal because that is the registration trial. In prevention, we want to have a full phase data report and 24-month follow-up. And the neoadjuvant and I-SPY trials will continue to develop important safety and efficacy data. And of course, as I've said before, now this will be the year where we have regulatory engagement with the FDA around what these programs are that will allow registration and sale of Z-endoxifen.
And finally, Stephen, what is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Atossa today?
Well, look, I mean, it's very clear. We have a focused, high impact opportunity with Z-endoxifen. It's differentiated. It's a next generation SERM, which is the term for this class of drugs. We have very compelling clinical data and an efficient regulatory strategy that we put together over the last 3 months. a solid financial position to allow us to finance this program, and many near-term catalysts as we move into the clinic on registration trials and we advance the existing trials in prevention and in neoadjuvant treatment. Collectively, we believe these factors make Atossa a high upside investment, and we are poised to disrupt standard of care in breast cancer treatment and build the long-term value.
It's an interesting story, Stephen. Thank you for sharing the Atossa story with us today.
Great to be with you, Greg.
To get more information on Atossa Therapeutics, visit atosinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Atossa Therapeutics. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO and be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip's CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met Ainos Incorporated, AIMD on the NASDAQ. Ainos develops disruptive medical and healthcare solutions based on its proprietary Ainos and Veldona technologies. The name Ainos combines AI and Nos to signify Ainos' commitment to enabling AI with the ability to smell and individuals to live healthier. Ainos' clinical stage product pipeline includes AI-driven, telehealth-friendly POCT solutions powered by AI Nos, Veldona human and animal oral therapeutics, and human orphan drugs. Learn more at www.aimdinfo.com. Then you met Atossa Therapeutics, ATOS on the NASDAQ. Atossa is a clinical-stage biopharmaceutical company advancing endoxifen, a next-generation selective estrogen receptor modulator, or SERM, with best-in-class potential across the breast cancer treatment spectrum. The company is prioritizing metastatic breast cancer, a setting with limited effective therapies and high unmet need, where endoxifen has demonstrated encouraging clinical activity and favorable tolerability. This focus may enable a more efficient regulatory pathway while building a foundation for expansion into prevention, neoadjuvant, and adjuvant settings. With multiple ongoing Phase 2 trials, a proprietary oral formulation, and a strong intellectual portfolio, Atossa is positioned to deliver meaningful therapeutic innovation and create long-term value for patients and investors alike. Learn more at www.atosinfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. Every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less. And it's categorized by industries. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
The global blood glucose monitoring device market size is 14.5 billion and growing. More than 500 million people are living with diabetes. Enter Trinity Biotech, symbol TRIB, on the NASDAQ, a global diagnostics company, preparing to commercialize an industry-changing continuous glucose monitoring device based on its European-approved technology in discussions with a global pharma giant for large-scale global markets. Trinity Bio, stock symbol TRIB.
The global breast cancer drug market size was valued at nearly $33 billion in 2023, growing at 9% annually. Now meet Atossa Therapeutics, a NASDAQ company, symbol ATOS, rapidly pursuing an FDA-approved pathway for metastatic breast cancer with an innovative treatment that could forever change the way we treat a disease that affects 1 in 8 women. $71 million in cash and no debt. Atossa Therapeutics, NASDAQ, ATOS.